While Kraven the Hunter gets ready for the greatest hunt the world has ever seen, Felicia Hardy must deal with her past. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Amazing Spider-Man issue number 16.HU, a tie-in to the new Hunted storyline, and find out for ourselves, shall we? Alright, so as we join the comic, we check on in with Black Cat. She's admittedly been through a lot lately. Granted, it's nothing new for her. She was a bad guy again, then she was a good guy again, and now she's not sure what direction she should take with her life. Now, if you'll recall, not so long ago in the pages of the main Amazing Spider-Man book, Felicia once again figured out that Spider-Man was Peter Parker. And, well, this is kind of playing hazard with her mind and emotions right now, because she now recalls an entire long, involved, emotionally draining relationship that had been wiped from her mind. And now it feels like the breakup is fresh again, even though it hasn't been. It's also probably interesting to note that when Nick Spencer has a callback to One More Day, he doesn't actually call back to the Mephisto stuff, he instead calls back to the retcon of why no one remembers Peter Parker is Spider-Man following the original Civil War. Felicia goes on a bit of a spree, beating up some Magia goons while also reliving some repressed memories about the time she actually spent living with Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Eventually, she comes face to face with Hammerhead, a man who not that long ago was actually her own second-in-command back when she was Queenpin of Crime in New York. Now she's gone straight, or well, at least as straight as a professional thief can go. But it would seem Hammerhead still wants something from her. His new boss, Leland Owlsley, aka the Daredevil villain The Owl, has gone missing, along with a number of different animal-themed villains from all across New York City. Hammerhead says that if Felicia is able to get his new boss back, then he'll bury the hatchet for being left high and dry before, and to sweeten the deal, even let Felicia steal some of the Owl's more high-end art pieces. And indeed, Black Cat has to think this one over. She's at a bit of a crossroad in her life right now. Does she want to stay being something close to a hero? Does she want to go back to being a thief? Does she want to be a villain again? She's honestly not 100% sure. What she is sure about, though, is that the Owl's art collection is great, and she would love to get a painting off it. This issue also highlights that when push comes to shove, Black Cat is actually one hell of a detective. She's easily able to riddle out that it's Black Ant and Taskmaster who have been kidnapping all the animal-themed villains. And while they're both hard to find, both being ex-SHIELD agents and all, Taskmaster actually stays in close contact with a bunch of the henchmen that he trained at his school, so all Felicia needs to do is find one of them, beat up on them to be led to where they're both hiding out. In this case, it's a big old boat where Black Ant and Taskmaster are keeping all the party favors for Kraven's new hunt, but that's not all they have too. They also have Billy Connors, the son of the Lizard. They kidnapped him in the backup of the last Amazing Spider-Man issue, and it looks like he's gonna get drawn into all this too, unless Felicia is able to save him, which she is not 100% sure she wants to. Well, not at first anyway. We have to get a flashback seeing how the Peter-Felicia relationship had fallen apart previously. Essentially, Black Cat thought Spider-Man was going to pop the question, and when he didn't, she got quite upset, and that's what threw her into another spiral. She decides that she's not going to go into a spiral again and wants to actually save Lizard Jr. Oh, but surprise, surprise, wouldn't you know it, Hammerhead actually set Black Cat up to be captured. In fact, he's actually been playing both sides of this conflict. In fact, in one fell swoop, Hammerhead both gets his revenge and gets to absorb all of the Owl's territory. Not too bad, all things considered. And because Black Cat also happens to be an animal-themed supervillain, you bet Kraven wants her for his ever-growing menagerie. Felicia puts up a valiant fight, but in the end, Black Ant and Taskmaster are too much for her to handle. Luckily, she actually did keep Peter's makeshift ring, which, get this, is made of the very first spider tracer he ever put on her, and before she gets knocked out, she's sure to activate it to try and get help from Spider-Man. And it's on that note right there that the comic comes to a close, everybody. So that was the Amazing Spider-Man 16 Hunted, everybody, and overall, it was fine. It was perfectly adequate. I don't know if it's 100% necessary going into this big event, but if you're a fan of Black Cat, I think it will offer an interesting little one-shot adventure for you. Beyond that, the only real thing it does to move the story forward is explain how Spider-Man even became aware of what Kraven was up to. Heck, to think if it wasn't for Black Cat getting involved, Spider-Man might not know at all. That's one of the more interesting things about this plan Kraven has cooked up. It doesn't involve Spider-Man for once. Ultimately, I think I feel comfortable giving this one a 6.5 out of 10. It moves at a good pace, isn't necessarily required reading, but it's a nice focus piece all the same.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out some of these other videos I have available available from the channel. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you might also want to check out my Patreon link down in the description. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. I would really appreciate it. And until next time, everyone, I've been Cape Joel, and I will continue to be making comic book videos that smack of greatness. Bye-bye, everyone.